and a massive fire at the end of the night, which was fantastic because at that height level it's really cold even in the night because there was no cloud cover. Having a big fire was brilliant for morale. We were all laughing and talking about it and discussing the day. We went through the idea of a rose, bud and thorn for the day. So you discussed your rose, your favourite part of the day, your bud, what you're most looking forward to tomorrow, and your thorn, so the worst thing you least favourite have happened in the day. And it was really interesting to talk through the group with that, because it gave everybody sort of insight into how everyone else was doing. And it allowed me and Anna to actually, the idea of getting sort of hidden meanings behind what they're saying. Like, so some of the girls were saying that, like, obviously nobody wants to admit that it was hard going up there. Nobody even mentioned it, you know. Until at the end I said, you know, it was a real hard slog going up there, and I was really proud of everybody. Some girls mentioned things like when they got to the top, like, it was hurting more going down, and there was all these sort of things which you can use as hints that obviously it was hard. So, and then in the morning of the next day, on the route down, because we had shortened the expedition, we decided that some of the girls really struggled going up the mountain. So in order to get something out of the expedition rather than just reaching the peak, before we take it slow going down, there's all these fantastic waterfalls on the other side of Snowdon. And when the weather is good, it's good. So the morale of the group dynamics of that day, we've usually the water levels are really, really high. You wouldn't be able to see any of this, it would be absolutely churning it. Because the waters are so low, it's a sort of really thick moss, like a slide going down, and the morale was fantastic. Everybody was having a fantastic time, smiling and happy, and it also meant that everyone could get a decent wash in the water, so it was sort of, they were cleaner, more hygienic. And we carried on going down, so we took all our kit, packed up the tents, adhered to the leave no trace rules, went further down, and we were playing in all these waterfalls all the way down. So we were covering ground, but it didn't seem like it because we had so much fun. We spent quite a while on this one, playing on these slides and this sort of thing. That's me really enjoying it. And there's the girls then, sort of chilling, and there were some jumps that we did into the waterfalls, but it was completely up to everybody. It was completely voluntary. There wasn't like, let's all go and do jumps. Some of them just chilled and sort of like sunbathed, and then some of us actually went and did all the jumps and had some fun. That's one of the jumps then. And what really surprised me was that the two of the girls, which I would have never thought would have wanted to jump off anything, after doing the snowbound, were like, I'm up for anything. And they came off and they did the jumps, which really surprised me, because they were telling me on the bus for weeks before that I'm never going to jump something, they're not going to do anything in the waterfalls. Yeah, they found some sort of strength in it, and they really improved. So yeah, and then we actually we carried on then the second day down to our last campsite. The group dynamics changed a bit again. I went through the sort of, I tried to move back into leadership styles. So we moving that day, actually taking in some distance. So I left the navigation up to some of the other girls this time. And they led us the entire way. They did really well. It was a bit experiential, we got lost a couple of times, but rather than myself getting involved in it, I kind of let them make their mistakes and learn from it. And then when they would ask me, like, you know, like where are we? Like, we're lost. And then I would go through the idea of doing back bearings, still learning more about navigation, then figuring out where they went wrong and experiencing that. It's kind of a deeper learning, so it's an easier way for them to remember how they went wrong, how they can correct it. So I was kind of happy that actually happened. And yeah, so reflections on what I would change. Things that I would change of the actual expedition would be right at the beginning, I would have gone more into uphill hiking, just so it was so much of a shock to the system for some. I would have taken them to Pennevan Mountain, which is the highest mountain in South Wales, England, and done some of that. Within things like the group dynamics, I think that on the first day, I would have, rather than letting the girls lead it, I think I would have probably led that myself, just so we didn't have to have that big diversion right at the beginning. Kit and equipment, I think that the kit and equipment was fantastic. I wouldn't change that. The tank systems worked really, really well. The cooking was fantastic. all the kit did really well. The only thing I would say is that some of the girls bought too much kit, and they learned a lot from that, because at the end of the day, at the end of the week, they were left with kit they didn't even use, and they carried it all week, and so that's something they can take from that. And the pre-expedition work, I think the only thing I would change from that would be when I did the first aid and when I did the hikes and the navigation to Mount Stephen, I would have emphasised again the dates, and would have found out more if the whole group was willing to do the expedition, rather than kind of being a bit more relaxed doing that kind of stuff. Overall, it went really, really well, and anybody who's going to do this expedition again, I would definitely say it's worth a good shot. So that's it. Good job.